Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell as well so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. And also, would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next.
Let's go.
And so when we were on our team meeting with the network the other day, you brought up this rule 7-11-4,
Yeah.
right? And everybody was like, that's good. That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought we could touch on that a little bit for the podcast. Welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, everybody. By the way, it's Frank Garay here. We're brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. I'm here with Steve Kiles again, and yeah, Steve, 7-11-4. This is
Yeah.
a new rule that you learned, you picked up, you rolled out to
Yeah.
the
Yeah. For
network,
sure. For sure.
and everybody's just kind of googling over it and kind of not google's bad choice of words, not googling it, but just kind of going, "Wow, that's
Goggle.
brilliant."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
super
go
smart.
over it a little bit for the listeners here.
Hey, well, and I'd
Seven eleven
love to
four.
take credit. I'd love to take credit for it. But
Yeah.
here's what we're always looking at is this. Frank. Carl says this all the time. You can be famous or you can be rich. And I think you can be famous and rich, but oftentimes people are trying to seek out fame, like, I want all these followers, I want all these people, not
Yeah.
realizing riches are in the niches. Riches are
Mm.
what happened. Like, look, if you got an active community of 300 to 500 people that are in your wheelhouse, in your sphere, they know
Yeah.
you, they're seeing your targeted Facebook ads, they're getting emails from you, they're getting texts from you, they're getting consuming your content, whether some of you are posting on YouTube or your podcast. Now, here's what you and I love, and we've really been working for a very long time to do it. Is I want to be an influence marketer because you know what it is, Frank? Not everybody, but most people think they're in the mortgage business. You're
Hmm.
not. You're in the digital marketing
Yeah.
business.
Right.
And so what we did was for the network, I run the network. Frank, you're a big part of it as well at Success Mortgage Partners. And one of the things we do is we've been helping our loan officers and branch managers really gain in their influence because here's what we know. After we've made the calls and we know we've got to do the work, that there's two types of 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 gathering resources. Number one is hunting. What I get today, that's
Mm.
making phone calls, asking for the
Right.
business, outbound targeted
Out there
calls.
hunting, man.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, it's what I go after today is
Yeah.
what I'm bringing home. Then there is farming. And
Right.
Frank, I think a lot of people miss the farming part and they spend their whole career, all they're doing is hunting. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm going after one more agent, I'm going after one more past client,
Yeah.
versus on Fridays, after you've made all the calls, after you've done the right activity, then let's start working on our business and let's leverage your influence.
Mm.
And let's do some things like this. Look, there's seven different like what I always think about is this. There are platforms that we want to use, and you're the king of this, man. But I can use email, weekly, daily, monthly emails.
Right.
I can use text, which I don't want to wear out, but I know it gets right to them. I can
Right.
do videos, and those videos, listen, those can go on my social media. I can do targeted ads to them. They can
Right.
go, that same video can go to YouTube. I can do LinkedIn and do newsletters. I can do a
Hmm.
blog on my website. I
Hmm.
can do podcast. I can do YouTube. So here's what you want to do is, what are you already doing? And then what the 7-11-4 is helps you understand, hey, listen, my goal is this. I'm hunting today, but I'm also farming for the future. So I
Right.
want to keep growing my list of qualified agents. I want to grow my list of past clients
Mm.
that are getting my content. I'm not trying to blast it out and get 50,000 followers who don't know me. I'm
Right.
trying to get like in
The ones who,
Houston.
yeah, the ones that I've got, I want them to
Yeah.
see me a lot. Right.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Hey, and
Yeah.
like for me, I'm in the Houston market. So it's Houston, Katy, Richmond, Sugarland, the Woodlands, Rosenberg, all the metro areas. And it's like, look, if I can be the mayor of this area by using the 7-11-4 concept, here's what happens is at some point in the near future, and Frank, I think you can do it in 60 to 90 days. If you just do it right and targeted and strategic, you can be the mayor of your city, the mayor of your county, the mayor of the three counties around you, or wherever you want to be in just a short period of time.
Mm.
Because here's the rule of seven. And I heard Daniel Priestley is the one who said this. He's got a book called Oversubscribed, great book. And he was talking about this, the 7-11 rule, 7-11-4 rule is to build loyalty and trust.
Okay.
And when you're using the 7-11-4 concept, what happens is it helps you understand this. If I'm building trust with the people I want to eventually do business with that may or may not know me. They need to consume 7 hours of your content. And that could be videos, podcasts, lunch and
Reading,
learns,
right? Yeah.
events, one
Yeah.
on one meetings, webinars. It doesn't matter, but they got to consume 7 hours of your content.
Okay.
Here's the next thing, they need 11 interactions with you. Now, 11
Okay.
interactions. So somebody's like, well, man, that's a lot. No, it literally could be 11 phone calls. It
Mm,
could be phone calls and emails. It could be phone calls, emails, in person meetings.
yeah.
It could be all of that, or even a social media message. They just
Mm,
need 11 interactions with me.
mm,
And here's the last thing is they need to get it from 4 different locations.
mm,
So it could be different social platforms like LinkedIn, and somebody saw it on Instagram,
mm.
and then I got a phone call from you. Like it just needs to be different
Right.
locations.
Yeah.
It could even be an open house. Hey, I'll give you an example. I was just at a thing literally this weekend, and at that thing, I happened to see an agent I used to work with, and she's a monster producer, and it
Mm,
was great because not only did I see her, but then when I make a follow up phone call with her,
mm,
and then maybe we go to. I don't know. It's different locations. So we could do industry event, open house, coffee
mm,
meetup.
mm.
Um, it could be social media platforms, but here's what they need: 7 hours of content, 11 interactions in 4 different locations.
I love it.
And when you're doing that, and look, don't make it complicated. You don't have to be on 14 different channels. Just use the 2 or 3 platforms you're currently using and be thinking about it and say,
Yeah.
hey, how do I give them 7 hours of content with 11 interactions in 4 different locations? And listen, Frank, here's the other deal too. I don't go do that first, then make calls. I make the calls while I'm doing this, and
Yeah.
then there will come a tidal wave where they both connect.
Right.
And that's here's where you'll hear things like this. And Frank, you hear it all the time. Dude, I see you everywhere.
Everywhere.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I just see you everywhere. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to, man, I've heard your name. I've seen it. I think I saw you on a video. And what'll happen is at that point, you'll never make another cold call in your life.
Right. Right. And so when we talk about things that stand out to me on 7-Eleven 4. Okay, so 7 hours of content. That might seem like a lot of content. It's not. Okay,
Oh yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
But what it also does is it really shows you that when it comes to this farming aspect, that ties right in with the hunting. Right. It's
Yeah.
the it ties right in with it. That consistency is really important in this arena as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Right. So we need consistency in this. Okay. So yeah. So 11 interactions too. Seems like a big number. It's not. Right. You just,
Yeah.
with this one agent, you
Yep.
just rattled off 3 that could happen with that one agent just by a random meeting. And so it's really not, it's just, I think that it's the consistency, Steve, that
Mhm.
brings, and then of course, making use of the platforms. Try to have at least 4,
Yep.
don't go out and rack your brain on trying to find new platforms, right? You don't need to do that. But, if you can have at least 4 and you've already got 2, email,
Mhm.
text, you got,
Mhm.
how about this? Phone,
Yeah.
email, there's 2. There's
Yep.
2, right? Platforms, right? Then you throw text in there. There's 3. You've already got 3. You only need maybe a Facebook and Instagram. Those 2 tie together. You make a video and put it on YouTube and then share it on Facebook. There's 2. It's like there's not, the platforms are easy too.
Yeah.
So, and I like what we did in the network too, where we took the time to really kind of help the team and lay out, here's the ideas, here's some
Yeah.
thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
here's how you can put this all together. And they're like, oh God, share that with me, share that with me.
Yeah.
So just good stuff,
Hey,
man.
well, hey, let me give you some ideas.
Yeah.
So, what I love is, like, I'll give you an example, something that came up, and you say, okay, well, Steve, how do I get 7 hours of content with 11 interactions and 4 different locations? Well, first off, I'll tell you the king of that is Frank Garay. So, what I would encourage you is this: if you want to see what we're doing in order to help our loan officers and branch managers become the mayors of their environment so that they're closing even more loans without making cold calls and without having to really look, it just makes it easier. The conversations are easier. The asks for the business are easier. Frank, where could they go? Because I know you love showing people that.
I
Where do
do
they go
love
to?
showing people this. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So just go to frankcall.com.
the
Frank
best 15 minutes
Call.
you'll ever
Yeah,
invest, dude.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, dude. Because listen, I had Frank with the network, when we were working, we do our weekly sales meeting that helps everybody close even more loans. Frank literally built the template of what it looked like. Hey, if I took a win, how do I convert that into YouTube and take the win and convert
Yeah.
it to a Facebook post? And it's a little bit different on LinkedIn. And how do I turn that into a blog? And I mean, you literally created all those templates. So jump into Frank's calendar and he'll show you
Yeah.
what we're
I'll
doing.
show it to you. Yeah. I'll show
Yeah.
it to you. It's easy stuff.
Hey, and listen, let me just give an example. So, we've got this guy Andy Cole who runs our operations, and you guys, I'm sure you got an amazing operations person. But let me share how you take a win and you create 7 hours of content. It's just one of the many ways. 11 interactions, 4 locations. So we were talking about this, Frank. We're having so many wins, whether there's a 7 day close, there was a 10 day close. Heck, you had a 14 day non QM deal close. And it's like, dude, are you kidding? Who does 14 days non QM? And then Andy sent something out to the team and he said, hey, I wanted to share something cool. And I'm gonna read you this testimonial. So our ops guy um, literally sent something to our team saying, hey, loan officers, branch managers, go get more business because we got more capacity. And so what we did was we just marked it up as a win. And it said, hey, just wanted to share something cool that happened this morning. We have a closer who had extra capacity, and underwriting pulled files ready for CTC or clear to close earlier than the posted turn times so that the closer could start working on them. It's this kind of proactive teamwork that makes the network so amazing. Everyone is always ready to help and find ways to get things done so that we give more margin and confidence to our loan officers and they want to go get even more loans. And I just thought, man, what a great operational win. And here's how we would take that, Frank. We'd take that win and you'll show them, but then we just craft it in multiple platforms and we say,
Yeah.
hey, Mr. Realtor, listen, let me tell you what happened. Andy, who runs our ops, they are so hungry to help our clients have not only a smooth transaction, but to help our teams go get more loans so that we can help our realtors go get even more loans. Let me tell you what just happened. And you share the win.
Share the
And I know
win.
somebody may be like, well, but that's an operational win. Yes, but realtors and people outside of our business, you know what they think about operations? That's the dark hole.
Right.
You know what they think about underwriters? Dude, every time I get a deal go to an underwriter, it gets lost. It doesn't close. We need to be bragging like, hey, like here at the network, we have 83% of our no's. We track them. A deal that's been a turn down, 83% of them have been turned into yeses. So you know what we do? We take that win just like you do. You've got things in your organization as you're listening to this. And it was like, hey, when I heard that stat from Allison, who's our, we call her affectionately the honey badger, Frank, the first thing I did was I thought that goes on our win sheet.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking to Jenny Wang, which is literally, and if she hears this, but she's a killer. She broke her owner, talked to her this last weekend. I'm saying, Jenny, hey, listen, let me just brag on what happens here. We track the results. And Allison, who's the president of our company, shared a stat. We turned 83% of the no's, where another lender said no, where a borrower came in and a builder's lender said no, where they went to a big box bank and they said no. We turn 83% of them into yeses. That's remarkable. Who do
Right.
you have today that was turned down by another lender that we could
Yeah.
take a second look for?
There you go.
And that's the kind of content that you're already having. Like Margot had to listen. It was so funny. She had a 10 day. So she's here on our team. She had a 10 day close that we closed and a 10 day close another lender closed, and that another lender was responsible for closing. Frank, our deal closed in 10 days. The other lenders didn't. And
Yeah.
I'm like, let's turn that into a
It's a
win.
win. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can
And then
take
you take
that.
those. That's right. Talk
You
about
take
that.
that, you take that information, right? You position it in a way like the cheat sheet that we have
That's right.
for
That's right.
for
Yep.
you guys if you want to check it out. You take that and craft it in a way that shows it as a positive experience, a positive thing, and if you want to experience things like this with your buyers, get a hold of me, right? So we take wins and even, you
Yeah.
can use other people's wins. So what you're describing is this was another loan officer's win, right?
That's right. That's
We
right.
can take another person's win from the network, right, from our team, and say, hey, just wanted to share with you, this is what happened. This is why it's so cool. This is why it's so great to work with us because our team does these types of things. That's what it's
That's
all
right.
about. It doesn't even have to be your win,
That's right.
right? It
That's
doesn't even
right.
have to be
You
your
just got
win.
you just got to document. You know what it does too, Frank? And I know this is a longer episode, but it's so valuable. what it does too is it's helping you keep your eye on the positive in a world full of negativity.
Yeah.
When I'm looking for the wins, it kind of goes back to this. You'll find what you're looking for. And when I'm looking for wins, and then when a win pops up, it's like, hey, like think about these things. Do you have a scenario desk? Did they help you structure a deal? Did you have a tough deal that y'all found a solution to? And I'm just thinking of random things, but you like Vincent Queen, it was so cool. He was like, dude, there was this, he had a tough deal. He reached out to the scenario desk. The scenario desk, the underwriter actually called him
Yeah.
and said, hey, let's put this deal together and figure out a solution. He freaked out. My man was like, I have never in 20 years had an underwriter actually call me to help me structure a deal.
I know.
Like
It's
things
pretty
like that
cool.
are happening in your organization all day. You're not thinking, oh, that's a win. Well, how could I share it?
Take
Well, book a
advantage of
call
it.
with Frank and
Mhm.
Frank will show you. But what you do is you then craft it in, hey, listen, let me tell you how powerful teamwork is really within our organization and how this kind of work, a scenario desk will help you, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, close even more deals. When you got a
Mhm.
deal, a complicated VA loan, you got a complicated file. Let me tell you how this helps. And you just start becoming even more aware, whether it's a scenario desk, whether it's an underwriter, whether it's just, man, I'm just trying to think. There's so many
Well, and
wins that
here's
happen.
how I want to lay this out too. So let's say you have this win, you know how to craft the message.
Yeah.
You're making your calls to your real estate agents, right?
Yeah.
You call 50
Yeah.
on a Monday, and you have 8 people that you talk to, so you can certainly communicate that when you talk to them, right?
Right.
Then all the others were voicemails. Well, don't forget now you're working on 4 different platforms, right? So
That's
you've
right.
taken
That's right.
that win. It's not only the content of your phone call, perhaps,
Yeah.
right, that day, but it's also a text message that
Yeah.
went out, right? And it's
Yeah.
also an email that went out to
Mhm.
everybody, right? And it's also a little quick, literally 1 minute video that you
That's it.
shared on
That's
on
it. That's
Facebook,
it.
right? And
Yeah.
so they didn't get your call, but they
Yeah.
saw you
That's
because
right.
you're marketing to a custom audience
That's right.
in Facebook. And so
Yeah.
they particularly saw it. Nobody else but them. They saw that.
That's right.
Right. And so that's how this whole 7-11-4 rule really, really comes into play and is
It's
really, really
powerful.
powerful. Hey, we
It's
got to get
powerful.
out of here. Guys, if you want the cheat sheet on that, you want to talk to me about it, just go to frankcall.com, spend 15 minutes with you. I'll go over it with you, man. It's no problem at all. And with that, I think we need to get out of here, Steve. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, make sure to book a time with Frank. That'll be time well invested. You're the king of marketing. And I think this is something that'll really help you be the mayor of your own town. We're not trying to be famous, we're trying to be rich. Go make some
Yeah.
money.
All
See ya.
right. You guys have a good Adios. Catch you next time here at the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. Bye.